Hi, so this time we're going to be looking at how to jack up a caravan. Important to be able to do because you could find yourself on the side of the road with a flat tyre or anything like that. Now you might think, oh well, doesn't matter, I'll just call the AA or the RAC, they'll come and fetch me. Few problems with that. First of all, it's going to be summer, so they're going to be really busy, so you could be sitting there for like 2 hours, 4 hours, in fact, that's how long I spent. Or if you're unlucky enough to be in the RAC, they won't come out to you. They will come out if the car's got a flat tyre or there's something wrong with the car, and they'll take the caravan and things, but they will not fix the caravan. If they come and find it's just a caravan that's got a puncture, they'll drive away again. So beware the RAC for that. So first of all, when I think about jacking up, one of the first things that you don't want to do is to use the caravan jacks, the steadies, because they're not designed for it. They're not in the strong points of the caravan. Best case, you'll cause the caravan to twist, which could open up seams and all sorts, cause leaks. Worst case, the jack will come through the bottom of the caravan, so you don't want to do that. Now I'll show you in a minute where to put the jack, because that's always the bit that's like, oh, where do I connect the jack up? That's always the bit that's people get confused by. So first of all, let's have a look at different types of jacks, and there's quite a few around. If I'll pan you down, one I've got here is a trolley jack. Now if you're lucky enough to have one of these big robust sort of things, and all you do, once you do it up, is you pump, the thing comes up and it'll lift a good few tons. Nice and easy to manoeuvre, big head to lift things up with. This is the ideal option. However, as you can tell, this is like really heavy. You don't want to be carrying that around with you in your caravan or in the boot of your car, really, for that matter. And so you probably won't have one of these. Yes, if you're at home and you're fixing a tyre, no problem, that's the best one to use, but generally not going to be able to use one of those. By the side of the road, you're much more likely to have something like this, which is a bottle jack. You can pick these up from eBay for like 20 quid, and all you do is the same sort of thing. It's hydraulic. You pump it, you can see the top comes up. Now these are quite good, they'll hold a fair old weight. Open that, it should go back down again. There we are. And they're quite good. The other sort you might see is a scissor jack. So the sort you get on a car where you wind it, there's a big screw that goes through the middle. Now less and less cars are having spare wheels these days. You tend to get more and more of these kits that allow you to blow the tyre up. There's nothing stopping you using one of those on a caravan, to be honest. If you've got a puncture, gets you out of trouble much quicker and easier, I've found. Originally I thought these are terrible, I'd rather have a spare tyre, but in fact now I've actually used one a couple of times. It's really good. It takes 5 minutes. You plug this thing into the tyre, plug it into the car cigarette lighter, pumps the tyre up, and you're good to go. And it'll never let me down. In fact, if you've got like a slash in the tyre, then you're in trouble, but then that's obviously where the AA and the RAC come in. So there's that. So that's the scissor jack and the hydraulic jack. Now these bottle jacks are really good. They'll hold a lot more, and this one will do 5 tons. They'll hold a lot more than the scissor jack will. And the scissor jack, I don't really like it. You've sort of putting all the weight goes on that tiny little thread, and they fail quite quickly. Bang, and they've gone. So I prefer not to use those. These much smaller, pack away. So I think these are a good bet. Now obviously you must never trust a jack. You should never ever put any part of your body underneath anything that's been jacked up. With a jack, assume at any minute it's going to collapse and you can't go far wrong. So when you take a wheel off, you pop the wheel off, pop the other wheel straight back on again and do up the bolts, because you want it exposed, hanging on the jack for as little possible time as you can. Right then, so we're under the caravan now. It's very tempting to use these frames here to jack up the caravan. They look quite strong, but in fact they aren't. Not designed for carrying any load, and you're liable to bend them if you're not careful. The places that you can put the jack, you can see here you've got the axle. That will take the weight of a jack, and also you've got this plate here, okay, and that will take the weight of a jack as well. And these are the bits you need to aim for, and really it's whichever one is the most convenient to put your jack under. And the other thing that you can have, quite a few caravans have got special mounting points, and actually these are the bolts where it should be mounted, and for that you have a special jack that comes with it with your caravan. So as I said, I've not got one of those. You can still jack them up in the conventional way, or you can use that special one if you've got one. Now if you're changing a wheel, before you jack the caravan up, these things are going to be really tight, and what you want to do is just crack the bolts, just loosen them, not loosen but just take the tension out of them just with sort of a quarter of a turn. I found the best thing to use is one of these, because you get a good, if I find the right one, you get a good grip, and you can push and pull at the same time, and you really can get a good perch on to crack them, and just very slightly loosen them, and then when you jack it up it's going to be that much easier to undo the bolts, because if you've got it on the jack it's going to be vulnerable. You could potentially wobble it around, and if you're trying to undo these really tight bolts, then you can have problems. So loosen them first in readiness. So now then, we're nearly ready to jack up the caravan, but there's one more important thing to do, and that's to hitch up the car. Now we need to hitch up the car so that the caravan won't pivot. So let's go over to our CGI special effects department, and we'll see if we can show you the reason why you need to attach the car. So here's a representation of your caravan. You're by the side of the road, you've had a puncture, and you've jacked up the caravan and you've disconnected it from the car. So there's a little cocktail stick which represents the jack. We go around to the other side. We can see there's a little chock behind the wheel which represents the fact that the brakes are on. Now, all well and good you might think, but as soon as you start tilting, so let's just tilt this very slightly, this block of wood that it's on, we just start to tilt it, and look what happens. Straight away the caravan falls off the jack. You can see it's pivoted round, fallen off the jack, and if you have survived without serious injury, you've now got a caravan which is probably sitting on its axle, and it's going to be almost impossible to get it back up again. Not a good situation to find yourself in. So this time I've left the caravan connected to the car, okay, and we've also jacked it up again, and the same way we've got another block on the other side. So this time I can tilt the thing so the car brakes are on as well. I can look at the angle I can get it to, and it's still not going anywhere. Much safer. So always leave the caravan connected to the car when you're going to jack it up. Okay, now we're ready to attach the car. The other thing that I like to do is to make sure the jacks are up. So if you're going to be tilting the caravan up on its one side, it's going to rest on those two opposite jacks, and you could do some damage to them. Far better to put them up. And in fact, if you're by the side of the road, they'll be up anyway. You don't need them down for this, so get them out of the way. And here we are then, back underneath. The car's all hitched up, the jacks are up. All I need to do is find the place, and I'm doing it here on this shelf thing. So all we do, you can just then pop that, and you can see it's starting to. Now I'm going to obviously remove myself from under the caravan before I do any more, but you can reach in with this quite easily, and you can see I'm not having to use much effort, and that's going up nicely. Okay, and that's all you do. You jack it up till the wheel will rotate, and you can pop it off, swap it over, and it's good to go. And you want to turn it, bring it back down again, engage the thing, turn it, it will come down, and then there goes the jack, and we're good to go. So that's all for this time. I hope that was useful, and if you liked it, please press subscribe. Otherwise I might just see you next time.